Hello and welcome back to Gapeys greenhouse. It's the middle of November and it's been really cold. It got down to I think about 25 degrees outside last night, and also in the greenhouse it was I think 26 or 27. So it really doesn't stay much warmer in the greenhouse at night than it is outside, because this is an unheated greenhouse, and we do have a lot of greens in here as well. And the one thing that's great about having a greenhouse is you don't really get the frost in here like you do outside, but it still gets pretty cold. So we do have to think about that, and if it gets too cold, I may need to come in and cover a few things. So right now I've got my South American peppers in the greenhouse, and that's what I wanted to show you guys today. I'm going to be trying to overwinter them. They are supposed to be a little bit more cold hardy than your regular pepper, so hopefully they will last the winter and we'll have some fruit on them next year. So let's take a look. So I have three different South American varieties. This first one here is the capsicum Cardenasii, and it's actually, the leaves are looking pretty damaged from last night's cold temperatures. It looked much better the other day, so I think the 25 or so degrees was a little bit too much for them. There's still a ton of ripe pods on these. You can see there's just a lot of pods, so I'm not sure if those are still good or if the cold might have done some damage to those or not. But we've got two plants here and they're just covered with green and ripe pods, so I should probably pick those and hopefully they'll still be okay. And then we've also got the capsicum Tovarii. So this was the last one to get any ripe pods, and I wish I had picked them before yesterday, because this one is also looking pretty damaged from last night's cold weather. Looks a lot like the Cardenasii. The leaves are pretty droopy and just look like they've been a little bit too cold. We do have a few ripe pods on here, but really not very many, and I've only harvested a couple of those. And I've got two of those as well, and then I've also got two of these Flexuosums. Now surprisingly, the Flexuosum here is looking like it's in pretty good shape. The leaves don't really look very droopy, and it's looking actually pretty healthy. There's a ton of pods on this guy, but the one thing about this variety is it gets a lot of pods that don't have any seeds in them. I'll have to look up, there's a name for that, but this should be a more round shape. You can see it's kind of a little bit flat on the bottom, and that kind of tells you that there's probably not any seeds in there, which is good if you're just going to be eating them and not saving seeds from them, because the seeds aren't really that great. I don't like chewing on seeds, as I'm sure most people don't, so that is a good thing for that. But I was hoping to save some seeds from those, and I've only gotten, I think, maybe 2 pods on those plants to save seeds from, and each one only had 1 or 2 seeds in them. So I'm going to go ahead and give these a taste test. All of these peppers look pretty much the same, so they're kind of hard to tell the difference between them. So, oops, I just dropped one. Let's pick one over here. So this was the Cardenasii. So we've got Cardenasii and Flexuosum there. So let's grab a Tovarii here. Let's see, I saw one over here. So there we go. So there's one of each. The Cardenasii, you can see, has a little bit darker stem and it just fell off. But we're going to go ahead and give these a taste and see how they differ. Alright, here we go. So we're going to start with the Cardenasii. So this one is actually the biggest of the three, but not by much. I think this one probably has the most seeds in it. Yeah, so there's a lot of seeds in there. pretty spicy, but not super hot. Has a little bit of a fruity taste to it. The burn is a little bit on the roof of my mouth and kind of the tip of my tongue. But the seeds aren't bitter or anything. They're just kind of a texture thing. So not too bad. The burn is just mostly on the roof of my mouth. So I haven't actually eaten too many of the Cardenasiis. The one I've been eating the most, though, is the Flexuosum. I really like the flavor of that one, but it is the smallest one, especially since it doesn't have any seeds in it. So there is the Flexuosum there. And it's also a little bit of a lighter color. It's more of an orange. But yeah, it's definitely more of a fruity, sweet flavor than the Cardenasii. I really like the flavor of that one. Now the Tovarii, I don't think I've actually eaten a Tovarii pod yet. So it's just slightly smaller than the Cardenasii. So the Flexuosum really didn't have that much heat at all, but it does have some heat. Definitely the Cardenasii is a lot more spicy than that. So let's try the Tovarii. That one's got a much different flavor. Since I'm trying them so close together, it's kind of hard to tell the heat levels between them. But it doesn't seem that hot. From what I can tell, the Cardenasii is probably the hottest. Although the Tovarii, I think, might still be building. But none of these were really hot enough to give me hiccups. And usually it doesn't really take that much to give me the hiccups. So I'm going to say the Tovarii is probably hotter than the Flexuosum. But it's probably pretty close to the same level as the Cardenasii. Anyway, if you're interested in trying these wild peppers, you can get some seeds from Fowler. That's where I got my seeds from. But they are a really fun pepper, very productive, and they're supposed to be fairly cold hardy, so we'll see if I can get these to overwinter, and I'll post an update in the spring and let you know. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.